The April 3rd meeting of the Thousand Oaks Youth Commission is called to order at 6:30 p.m. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner McGuigan.
Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. And Commissioners, could you please turn on your mics?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. We will now have roll call taken by Staff Liaison Francine Spriegel.
Thank you. Commissioner Boyajian.
Here.
Commissioner Brousseau is absent. Commissioner Bryman. Absent. Commissioner Cutler-Dye. Absent. Commissioner Lederer.
Here.
Commissioner Lee.
Here.
Commissioner Leone. Absent. Commissioner George McGuigan.
Here.
Commissioner Jed McGuigan.
Here.
Commissioner Sauté.
Here.
Commissioner Schooley.
Here.
Commissioner Slavenites.
Here.
Commissioner Stein.
Here.
Adult Commissioner Nalbandian.
Here.
And Adult Commissioner Petrus is absent. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now have item 4, public comments with Commissioner Lederer.
This is a time in our meeting when we invite members of the public to state their concerns about youth-related issues in our city or to present items for commission consideration. Are there any members of the public who would like to speak at this time? If there being none, let's move on.
Thank you, Commissioner Lederer. Now we will move on to item 5, guest speakers with Commissioner Sauté.
Thank you. Today we have speaker Akbar Ali Khan from the City of Thousand Oaks. Akbar is a public works analyst for the City of Thousand Oaks, California. His duties include managing the city's lighting and landscaping program, leading the city's energy efficiency efforts, and assisting the public works director with various assignments. A graduate of Newbury Park High School, Akbar received his undergraduate degree in economics and a graduate degree in public administration, both from Cornell University. For 2012 to 2013, Akbar is serving as the chair for the Thousand Oaks Leadership Academy and is enrolled in the American Public Works Association Emerging Leaders Academy. Akbar is an active member of the APWA Ventura County chapter and Thousand Oaks Toastmasters. In his free time, Akbar enjoys road biking on the city's well-paved bike lanes, catching every Lakers basketball game, and shooting photos.
Thank you, Commissioners. Glad to be here. I'm here to talk to you all about what Public Works is. If you were to ask your average resident what exactly a Public Works department does, you might get some varied answers. But essentially, it's management of our infrastructure. Everything that you use on a daily basis, and you notice very quick when it doesn't work. So what sorts of things am I talking about? Talking about water, wastewater, lighting, landscaping, streets, traffic signals, transportation, transit, emergency operations. All of those are public works functions. Things that you use, again, on a daily basis, and you'd realize very quick if it didn't work. When you turn on the faucet, you expect water to come out. When you hop on the freeway, you expect there to be a road there with no potholes. And that's what we try to do on a daily basis. That requires a lot of management and a lot of time. We have about 200 employees in our Public Works Department, 85 here at City Hall, another 30 at our Hill Canyon Wastewater Treatment Plant, and nearly 100 at our Municipal Service Center, where a lot of our operations are carried out from. So what I want to start with is generally some of our major projects that we have going on in the city. Not a problem. There we go. I assume most of you are familiar with the Wendy 101 project, even if you don't live in this area of town. How many Newbury Park High School students do I have here today? 3? 4? Okay. So I imagine you folks are very familiar with this project, right? You probably encountered this. You want to go nowhere near that. Well, when it's all done, the capacity is going to be greatly improved for those of you who like to ride your bike, be able to traverse on both sides of the freeway bridge pretty easily. Right now, it doesn't look so pretty, but that project will be wrapping up in August of 2013. So within about 6 months, that thing will be nice and ready for you all to use. And it'll look very nice. And then you'll notice there's some decorative veneer there in the front. We decided to do this as an opening or a gateway to our city. If you're approaching from below the grade from Camarillo, this is really the first freeway exit that you see when you enter the city of Thousand Oaks. So we thought it was important to add some decorative veneer. Another one of our major projects is the expansion of our municipal service center. Now, you'll notice if at City Hall you don't see any tractors or buses or landscaping chippers or anything of that sort, and you wonder, where is that stuff held? Where do we keep it all? There's no subterranean underground garage that we have here at City Hall where we keep it. It's actually at our municipal service center. And for those of you who haven't been out there, I would strongly encourage you to go out there and give it a visit. It is, if you were traveling there from the freeway, you get off at Ranch Canal Boulevard, swing a right coming from this direction, and head all the way to the cul-de-sac at the very end. And our superintendent, John Smalls, would be happy to show you around and show you everything that goes on there. So a little bit on the expansion. You'll notice at the bottom left corner, the HHW facility. That stands for Household Hazardous Waste. And what am I talking about when I say household hazardous waste? This is motor oil. This is cleaning supplies. This is lacquer thinner. This is old paint. This is all the stuff that accumulates in your garage that you can't really flush down the toilet or pour down the drain or send it down the gutter. Because that's where we don't want it. Because when it goes through those kinds of mediums, we have a lot of environmental concerns, and that's essentially what we want to prevent. So by keeping it here at this HHW facility, you prevent it from going into those other systems. Right now, you can drop off those kinds of items one day out of the month, which is the first Saturday of every month, and it is not very convenient, I'll be honest. It happens 11 times a year, and so your chances of delivering something aren't too plenty. However, after this HHW facility is constructed, we'll have over 100 events a year. So the capacity is going to be greatly expanded. Other parts of the project include bus parking and canopies. There's a potential for a solar project on top of those buses that you see there, which is to be decided. However, we'll see in the near future. And again, an expansion of the building, the administration building there, to provide more room for our employees. This one is just nearby to us. It's across the freeway at Rancho Road. This is our transportation center. It's heavily utilized for a lot of folks who travel to downtown or other parts of Los Angeles on a daily basis. They utilize this parking lot to meet up in the morning and get into a van pool. They leave their personal cars in this lot throughout most of the day, and it is full. It is entirely full. So what we're doing is expanding. You notice in the diagram to the right there, towards the northern section, we're adding 81 new parking spaces. This is roughly a 30% increase of the existing parking spaces. This is a pretty sizable project as well. We'll also be adding new LED lighting, one of our first major LED lighting projects in the city. So it'll be really cool. And again, this is right off the freeway. You can see it. It is a major transit hub for our community. This one has been in the making for well over a decade. A former council member of ours, Dennis Gillette, who you may all remember, he really was the guy who pushed this thing through and did a lot of work on it. Our current public works director and former public works directors have spent many, many days laboring over this very product, the 10123 project. And if I can, again, get a show of hands, how many of you personally have been caught in traffic at this particular interchange? I think all of us. And what we're doing here is expanding the capacity on both directions, a lane in either direction, from Hampshire Road all the way to Moore Park Road. And the price tag for this project is $42 million. It's quite a bit. So it gives you an idea of the magnitude of work that's involved and just how much Public Works manages. This one is the Lynn Road project, and many of you probably use this on a daily basis, and not weekly basis, including myself. Right now, if you were to travel on Lynn Road, you don't have bike lanes throughout much of it. It is a It is a well-traveled road, quite a bit of volume of traffic, and riding your bike on there, you may feel like you don't have a ton of room. So we're proposing what has been approved, and hopefully will be going to construction sometime later this year, is a complete restriping of Lynn Road from Hillcrest all the way to Arbalest. This is a 3.2 mile segment, and we hope that we'll get some bicyclists on this road. I know I will sure use it. The Urbs Road widening project. This is one that will be going to our city council next Tuesday, and we hope to be going into construction relatively soon. It uses about $5 million of federal funds, about $3 million of general fund from the city, and total price tag on that one is about $10 million. What we're doing is, again, much like Lynn Road, it's an old road that has no pedestrian and no bicycling amenities. So we're expanding it. We are adding bike lanes. And one major aesthetical point is we are undergrounding utilities. And what that means is along a lot of our old roads, you see these power poles that go up and down, and they have the electrical lines that run above. And then you see other newer neighborhoods that don't have those same power poles, and you wonder, where are they? Well, it's a really simple difference. Anything that was constructed probably past 1980 has undergrounded utilities. All those same utilities exist. They're just below you. You don't see them. However, on old streets like Urbs Road, they're above ground. That's how they were built back then. So one of the components of the projects is putting those below ground where you won't see them. Now you add these all up together. This is major bucks. You see that price tag at the bottom, nearly $90 million. This is what we do. This is a large part of what we do. In addition to that, we have operations. It's not all just expanding the city. It's about maintaining the city. 27,000 street trees that we maintain and cut on a daily basis. We don't do 27,000 daily. We maintain 27,000. Excuse me. 750 miles of sidewalk that we have to maintain. 17,000 water customers. We're not the only water provider in the city. However, we are a major one, and we deliver all that water through about 16 water tanks that can hold about 35 million gallons of water. Again, like I said at the outset of this, you turn on your faucet, you expect water to come out, and this is precisely the reason what makes that happen. 8,500 utility holes. I'm learning some of this stuff myself. And 500 miles of sewer main lines are maintained by the Utilities Maintenance Division. That's a lot. It's quite a bit. You might see these trucks with the big hoses on the front. You wonder what they're for. This is essentially what they do. You open up a manhole cover or maintenance hole cover, you put it on down. That reel can go for, I believe, close to a mile. And you suck out a lot of the gunk that's in there that could clog up potential wastewater backups. About 266,000 passengers are on our city buses every year. We have, I believe, 5 or 6 of these buses that run various routes throughout the city. This is my personal favorite, 11 million gallons of wastewater at our Hill Canyon treatment plant. How many of you have ever visited the Hill Canyon treatment plant? You have? It's awesome. And if you haven't been there, I would say that should be on your to-do list ASAP. It is quite a remarkable facility. We have visitors from all over the country who come to visit the Hill Canyon treatment plant and get a tour from our superintendent there, Chuck Rogers, who will be happy to give you, any one of you, a tour personally. And this facility is one of the gems of our fine city, and it's the crown jewel. We even had 4 gentlemen from Uzbekistan who came out just last week. They traveled all the way from Eastern Europe to see the Hill Canyon treatment plant. So they draw visitors because it is, like I said, an example to try and emulate. We are accredited by the American Public Works Association. As Commissioner Sauté gracefully said during my introduction, I'm a big part of the American Public Works Association locally, and on the national level, the city hasn't recognized. And you might not know the full extent of what that means, but essentially, there are less than 100 public works agencies that are accredited throughout the nation, and there are, I believe, close to 10,000 public works agencies, whether it be at the local or county or state level. That gives you an idea of where we stand as a department amongst our, I won't say our competition, but amongst our peers, and where we stand as a city in terms of prioritizing public works as a major city function. So accreditation, it's quite a lengthy process. It took our department about 1.5 years to get through. It is essentially 500 different public works practices that we have to demonstrate and adhere to and show this accreditation council that we are proficient in all these different practices. It's everything from how to trim a tree properly, how to overlay a street, how to select a contractor, what quantities to use, everything to the very minute detail. And this is really an accomplishment for our department and our city as a whole. 76.4 million, what could that possibly represent? These are the number of baby boomers in the workforce out of 155 million total that are currently over the age of probably about 50 years old, maybe a little older. My parents are baby boomers, and they'll soon be retiring, and a lot of that also goes for our employees here. 10,000. Number of baby boomers reaching 65 every day. Just think about that. 10,000 people around that age hit the number 65 each day. So how does that impact you commissioners? How does that impact people you and your age? Well, they're not going to be able to work forever, nor do they want to work forever. So when you talk about opportunities in the public sector or jobs in general, it should be an exciting time for people like myself, people like yourself, that while you do have a competitive environment job-wise, there's going to be some opportunities coming up. So one of the things that we stress a lot here in our Public Works Department is succession planning. And what that means is essentially prepping the people behind you who are, and a lot of times younger than you, and making sure they're ready for managerial positions. Because when your exodus comes, you need to have somebody that can fill that role and make it a seamless transition. And we focus a lot on that in our Public Works Department, and really our Human Resources Department has led that effort citywide. Last statistic, 70 million will be the number of baby boomers 65 or older by 2030. Well, that's also pretty well established. Keep going with the stats here. 47.9, that's the average age of all public works employees. So let that sink in for a second. 47.9 is the average age, which means we have quite a bit of people older than 47.9. 45.9, that's the average age of public works line staff. Now, these are the folks that are out there trimming trees, cutting stuff down, repairing sidewalks, cleaning out storm grates. The average age of each one of those folks is 45.9. I spent a day trimming trees with our landscape crew, and I'll tell you, by the end of the day, I didn't want to go back for a second day. It's hard work, and I'm in my 20s. I don't know how these folks do it in their 40s. I have tremendous respect for them, and if you guys ever get a chance to go out and see what they do, I do encourage you to try. 54%, and this is my favorite statistic, the number of employees eligible for retirement within 5 years. So another way of phrasing this is over half of our entire city staff of roughly 400 people are going to be eligible for retirement within 5 years. So for someone like myself, someone like yourself, think about 5 years from now. Many of you will be probably graduating college right around then. There will be opportunities. Hopefully, positions like mine will be available to people like yourself. And something that I would encourage all of you to look into. On that front, we do have a lot of interns that come through our Public Works Department. We utilize them well. They typically stay for about 6 to 12 months, work for about 1,000 hours. They work hand in hand with the supervisor that they're assigned to. They do really cool work. Just last year, we had one of our interns develop our green business program. We had another intern draft our energy action plan. So these folks aren't just filing papers and doing busy work. They're doing really important stuff that we probably weren't able to get around to with staff that we needed some help on. Not only help, but good insight as well. You commissioners sitting up here at the dais, you guys have the benefit of recent education. And you forget that when you've been working for 10, 15, 20, 30 years. That you've been out of the game, been out of the academic game for a little while. And sometimes a fresh eyes and fresh mind to look at something can bring a new perspective. So I want to share with you just a brief example of somebody who came in as an intern and then really has progressed through the ranks. This is one of our engineering assistants, Robert Richardson, who works at our Hill Canyon treatment plant. He came in as an intern while he was studying at Cal State Northridge in 2004, interned for us for a couple of years. Then became an engineering tech in 2006 while he was still enrolled in college. Spent a good deal of time in that position and then got promoted to a Tech 2. Shortly thereafter, he was promoted to an engineering assistant. And Robert's a fine example of the kind of opportunities that are available to you when you have an internship with the city. In fact, I myself started out as an intern with the city about 3 years ago. So how many of you, again, I'll take another poll, how many of you have a major in mind when you head to college of kind of what you want to major in? Yeah, roughly half of you, and that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea to have. As you can see, what I want to demonstrate with this slide here is that, us in Public Works or the city as a whole, we really grab from all factions of a university. On the left there is the major, and on the right there is the percent employed by government agencies, whether it be state, federal, or local. And biologists, right near the top, civil engineers, 28% of all civil engineers are employed by public agencies. Economists, I suppose I would fall into that group, although I don't consider myself an economist. Forensic analysts, you can probably guess on the police enforcement side. Geographers, we use probably a lot of those for our maps, land surveying, and perhaps our GIS services. And the final one, urban planners. That's a huge percentage. 68% of all people who go to school for urban planning end up working in a state, federal, and local office. So you see that you can go to school for a variety of things. However, we're pulling, as a city and as an organization, from many different walks of a university campus. Now, this last slide, Jay had me insert because he was supposed to be the one delivering this talk. But I want to play off his same message. Now, what Jay was trying to get to, and I'll give you some backstory on his background. As a young guy, he went to Humboldt State, and he wanted to be a park ranger. He went in at 18 thinking, you know what, I want to go and be a park ranger. I'm going to graduate, and I'm going to find a job somewhere. Halfway through college, he kind of changed his tune. He said, you know what, I don't know how much, I love parks, I love the outdoors, I don't know how much I want to be a park ranger anymore. He said he got into, I guess, piloting, stuff like that. That's a picture of Tom Cruise there, Top Gun, maybe before your time, but classic film. In any case, Jay changed his mind and started getting into civil engineering and science-related fields, and then ended up becoming a public works director, which something that at 18 he never thought he would even get into. Now, a lot of that changed with the onset of his baby son and being newly married. And the message that he would like to get across with this slide is that life just kind of happens. You have these plans of kind of what occupations you want to go after or what majors that you want to have in college. However, you get there and the whole world is open to you and you find something that was perhaps more interesting, or your opinions of things change, or you get turned off to something or turned on to something else. And then every so often, life just throws you a curveball and you have a family and you need to start a career. And my own personal anecdote on this is, as Joelle again mentioned in the introduction, I went into college as a economics major, and at 18 I thought I wanted to get into business, and that was my direction. However, shortly thereafter, after a few years, I felt like public administration and public service was my calling and changed direction. So just to show you that pretty much anything can change, and you go in with one opinion, you might come out with another. So with that, I'd like to take any questions if the commission has any. Yes.
In addition to the internship opportunities, are there also job shadow programs?
Great question. We do have job shadow opportunities. What we have done recently is been more structured through each one of the high schools. Jay Spurgeon, our public works director specifically, he has a program with Newbury Park High School. Mr. Colangelo, I believe, runs that program. And we have about 3 students every semester who come out and they spend 3 different days with us in our public works department. We show them the Hill Canyon treatment plant. We have them job shadow Jay for an entire day. And then the final day, we shake them down during a mock interview, which is my favorite day because I get to see how they hold up under pressure. We also do one with Westlake High School with Dr. Lori Looker, and we had 3 students each semester from there as well. Thousand Oaks High School will be coming on board hopefully this year. Any other questions? Yes.
So I passed the Hill Canyon treatment plant a couple times on my bike, and I was wondering, like, how do you, like, set up a tour with that?
How do you set up a tour? Well, you can start by calling our Public Works Department. That's 805-449-2400. We'd be happy to get you scheduled, and we always love to have visitors. We have entire classrooms that come through on a regular basis, and our superintendent, Chuck Rogers, always loves visitors. Yes.
I'm currently in an AP Environmental Science, so we're learning a lot about how to clean up municipal solid waste and industrial solid waste. How does our city ensure that it meets the best standards possible for environmental protection?
Oh, great question. Well, we have a environmental services division that's housed in the Public Works Department. One of the things that there are probably 100 different things I could mention, but I'll touch on the most important. We have a tremendous amount of outreach. You may have seen some of this yourself, whether it be via community events, Arbor Earth Day, newsletters that they send out. The outreach component and education component is crucial. And then the biggest thing is on our operations. One thing that our former public works director used to say is, if you really want to be an environmentalist, go work for an organization that has the ability to pollute and make sure it doesn't happen. That's really the most effective way. And so in a public works department, there are certain things that you can do to reduce your impact on the environment. And one great example is rubberized asphalt. To explain what that is we actually take ground up rubber tires. These are old tires that have been discarded because they're done. They're at their end of their useful life. They are melted down, and then they're actually mixed into the asphalt mix and then laid out on the street as part of an asphalt overlay. So whenever you drive on a new road in the city of Thousand Oaks, by new I mean within the last 10 years, your rubber tires are actually driving partially on the old rubber tires of someone else. It's a cool concept to think of. So in our most recent 2012 overlay project, we saved or recycled about 174,000 discarded rubber tires. That's one small example. Again, there's probably about 50 more I could give you, but it really comes down to our process. Any other questions?
Thank you so much for coming.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. A big thank you again to our guest speaker, and thank you again to Commissioner Sauté. We will now be moving on to item 6, school and liaison reports, and I would like to hand the meeting over to Vice Chair Lee.
This is the portion of our meeting where appointed commissioners act as liaisons to local organizations and schools. So to start off, 6A, the Thousand Oaks Library Teen Advisory League, I would like to turn the meeting over to Commissioner Schooley.
These are some current events happening at the Thousand Oaks Library. The Newberry Park Branch Library hosted a Teen Tech Week Wii tournament with gift card prize awards going to the top Just Dance and Super Smash Bros. Contenders. This program was sponsored in part by the Thousand Oaks Library Teen Advisory League and was held on Thursday, March 14th after school from 3:30 to 5 p.m. On Friday, April 5th, 8 to 10:30 p.m., the Thousand Oaks Library Foundation presents Comedy Night with comedians Jason Love, Tom Clark, and Karen Knotts. This fundraiser includes a silent auction and refreshments. Join writer and dramatist Martha Abbey Miller to learn more about President Franklin D. Roosevelt and the woman in his life during a program on Sunday, April 7th from 2 to 3 p.m. at Grant R. Brimhall Library entitled Eleanor, Lucy, and the Man in the Middle, A Perspective on FDR. Saturday, April 13th from 1 to 2 p.m. kicks off National Library Week at Thousand Oaks Library. Join Dr. Kent Christensen for a presentation on the history of the Chumash and a display of their artifacts. On Sunday, April 14th from 2 to 3 p.m., the Grant R. Brimhall Library will host the program, Writing a Mystery Novel, How Do Authors Do It? Mystery author and president of Sisters in Crime SoCal chapter, Patricia Smiley, presents this writing workshop for aspiring writers or the merely curious. This is a National Library Week program courtesy of AAUW and Thousand Oaks Library. We are fortunate to have a fabulous saltwater aquarium at the Grant R. Brimhall Library. Join Marv Stanton, owner of Executive Aquarium, for Wonders of the Aquarium for an informational program about our amazing aquarium on Tuesday, April 16th from 3 to 3:30 p.m. Ask questions about the fish or the tank. Songs We Sing on Saturday, April 20th from 2 to 3 p.m. in the Grant R. Brimhall Library is a delightful family program that explores vocal music from chorale to opera to jazz to musical theater with faculty and students from Cal Lutheran and Heidi Valencia Vass. A National Library Week program courtesy of the Friends of the Thousand Oaks Library. Check the website. Again, that's toaks.org/library for additional details about research tools, the programs I mentioned, and don't forget to like the Thousand Oaks Library Facebook page to receive future notifications about library programs and events. Thank you. Back to you.
All right, and so now with item 6B, the Associated Student Government portion of the meeting, so I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner George McGuigan.
The Youth Commission invites representatives from each of our local high schools and intermediate or middle schools to present information about school activities for the purpose of generating a feeling of community spirit. So, first off, we have Paige Creason from Sequoia Middle School. Could you please come up to the podium?
Hi, my name is Paige Creason, and I'm representing Sequoia Middle School. Starting off this update, I'm going to be talking about some past events that we have held at Sequoia. We had our annual Sequoia Idol, which was March 15th from 3:15 to 4:15 in the auditorium. The turnout was great, and we had lots of great contestants. We were selling bacon and churros in the back as well, which seemed to be a great hit too. However, only one person could win, and that was Brenda Heron in 7th grade. She won $100 and got the title of 2013 Sequoia Idol winner. Also, earlier in March, we had a new event at Sequoia. From 3:15 to 5:15, we had our retro party where 6th, 7th, and 8th graders could come and participate together. Everyone enjoyed the new experience, and it was lots of fun too. Lastly, in March, a group of students performed a flash mob dance in the quad at lunch for the students of Sequoia. They danced to Footloose, and it went over really well. Everyone can't wait for another one next year. Some current events that are happening at Sequoia is every early day on Tuesday, we have the ASB-sponsored Uncle Chris's Italian Ice fundraiser from 1:30 to 2 in the Center Quad. We have our Cody activity called the Soda Bounce on Friday at lunch. Come and participate to see who can be the next Cody winner this time. Lastly, some future events at Sequoia is we have a fun Friday on April 12th called the Egg-tastic Adventure in the Quad. We also have lots of Cody dress-up days, so make sure you mark your calendars, including Pastel Day, Tie Day, Sandals and Shades Day, and Hawaiian Day. Finally, we have our annual luau coming up, which will take place right after school until 5 on April 26th. We have lots of rides, games, foods, and much more, so make sure you mark your calendars on that too. That is it for the Sequoia update. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Paige. Next, could we have Ulysses Scalvanides from Westlake High School?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Ulysses Scalvanides, and I'm a freshman at Westlake High School. I hope you all had a wonderful Easter. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we'll be having our spring drama performance of Shakespeare's Macbeth. This is a wonderful opportunity to come see the young talent our school has to offer, and I encourage all of you to come. On lunch on April 10th through the 12th, there will be a dodgeball tournament. Sign-ups are this week at lunch. Get your friends together for some friendly competition against your classmates. Saturday, April 13th is the Spring Fling. It will be held in the Westlake High Gym. This is a great chance to have fun and dance the night away. Friday, April 19th, we'll be having our fun lunch rally. Come out for some awesome games. Lastly, April 23rd and 24th will be holding our STAR testing exams. Good luck to all students. Thank you.
And lastly, could we have Katie Owens from Newbury Park High School?
Hello, good evening. So just a recap of some past events that have happened. Congrats to our dance team for going off to competition. They won first in many, many areas, and they placed second in hip-hop this past weekend. Our talent show on March 15th was a blast. It was a real show of how much talent NP really has. We had original compositions and even an opera singer. It was amazing. Now for what's coming up. This Saturday, April 6th, Threads for Red is a fashion show in which all proceeds will go to the Global AIDS Foundation. So come out and support such a worthy cause. Blood Drive is April 11th, and did you know that even 1 pint of blood can save 3 lives? So if you're eligible for donating, donate. Prom is April 13th, a night at the Vineyards, and that will be followed by the awesome after party. Next, there's Future Panther Night on April 17th, and we're looking forward to meeting and greeting some of our future freshmen. It's going to be fun. Next, Powder Puff football game on Friday, April 19th. It's where juniors and senior girls will be playing some flag football, and even some of the football boys will be cheerleading. That is going to be a fun night. Come out, we'll have barbecue. And second to last, School Sense is keep School Sense going. Bring in your receipts. We need the money for that. Okay, and Relay for Life is coming up on May 10th and 11th. We are raising money for cancer research, so sign up, join a team, and that's going to be a blast at Newbury Park High School. Thank you. Have a great evening.
So the Youth Commission would like to thank all of the representatives who came from your local schools. We really appreciate it. The next item on the agenda is 6C, the Teen Center Advisory Council. So I would like to turn the meeting over to Commissioner Boyajian.
Hello, everyone. So last month at the Teen Center, we had a lot of events. And to start off, on March 2nd, the Teen Center hosted the 4th annual Rising Stars Dance Competition. We had 275 guests in attendance with a celebrity judge and several all-star performances. On Friday, March 8th, students from Sequoia, Sycamore Canyon, Kalina, Redwood, and Los Cerritos middle schools performed in our annual middle school talent show. Boys and girls sang, danced, and played instruments, and some even did a magic trick. On March 9th, we had another successful e-waste day. Several community members dropped off old printers, computers, and monitors at the Teen Center. Proceeds from the recycled goods help support the Thousand Oaks Teen Center. The kickoff for our middle school girls friendly soccer tournament was on March 13th. The other two tournament dates are April 3rd and April 17th. After the tournament on April 17th, the Teen Center will host a barbecue for participants and their family members. The St. Patrick's Day dance was on March 16th, and it was a huge success with over 570 7th and 8th grade kids. On spring break, the Teen Center took 41 teens to Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that was a lot of fun. And so happening this month for April, our spring programs are going to be starting April 1st. We have a wide variety of classes in sports, dance, vocals, instruments, the arts, and computer science. Everything from co-ed hip-hop to boys dodgeball to fashion styling for girls to Photoshop to guitar, and the list goes on. The list also includes 2 great workshops, a CRP workshop on April 6th and a babysitter's training workshop on April 20th. These 2 are perfect for anyone looking to add skills to their resumes for summer jobs. Also, in cooperation with the Girls Empowerment Center of the Conejo Valley, we are hosting a dance workshop and a Girls Around the World workshop. The 7th and 8th grade spring blacklight dance is April 13th from 7 to 10 p.m., and everyone who wears neon gets free glow wear at the door. And next month, save the date for May 11th, which is the Teen Health and Beauty Expo, and that is a Saturday. And these are the latest updates from the fabulous Thousand Oaks Teen Center. Back to Vice Chair Lee.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyajian. Now I would like to turn the meeting over to Chair Sklavenides.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lee. Item 7 on our agenda are project discussions. So I will introduce the following commissioners who will oversee the projects. First up, we have item 7A, Youth Implementation Team Updates with Commissioner Jed McWegan.
All right, so we had our last implementation plan last month, and well, it's the last for some committees, and some committees will be meeting next week. But we're going to go ahead and start with the recaps. So we have Commissioner George McWigan with the Drugs and Alcohol Committee.
So after a long, successful series of reality parties, we have our last one this Saturday, and it's just been extremely successful, and we'll probably look to do it again next year. Anyways, this is our last meeting since we've kind of met all our year's goals. For those of you who don't know, we are holding these reality parties for parents who come in and they tour the house of what a house party would look like for teens, and they reenact scenes, and they kind of send a pretty clear message to the parents to, not let this happen with their teens, and then also to talk to the parents and pretty much check up on your teens. So unfortunately we're booked, so late registration is kind of already over, but if you want to still check out what we do, we have a website at straightupvc.com if you'd like to check us out on the web, and that's all. Thanks.
All right, so now we'll do a recap from the Recycling Committee with Commissioner Sauté.
All right, so first off, coming up on April 13th, we are having the Arbor Earth Day at Conejo Creeks, and all the people from the Recycling Committee are going to try and work, and we're also bringing our bottle sculpture, which has been going around the 3 high schools. So if you come, you can check out what our project was for the entire year. We would also like you to follow us on Facebook at CVUSD Recycles. Thank you.
All right, I will be doing the recap for Recreation Committee this week. We have an event coming up on March 31st on a Friday night, and we're doing the dodgeball event that we've done for the past 2 years. It's going to start at 6:30 and end at 9:30, and it's only $1, so please come out. These are the flyers. They'll be being handed out at your schools, and you can find them probably in activities offices. And it's been a lot of fun last year and the year before that. We've had a great turnout. You can register online at www.thousandoksteencenter.com, and you can register on site, but you must have the waiver signed before you can participate. So you can get probably the waiver signed at the event. Registration will be 6 to 6:30, so just before the event, or you can get it signed. You can print it out and get it signed before the event. we also have a barbecue. It's going to be a free barbecue as well. So you're basically paying $1 to play a great dodgeball tournament and get free food. Oh, it costs $1, so it's not free, but yeah. All right, so that's it for Recreation Committee. Yeah, it's basically free. All right, then we're moving on to the Resources Committee with Chair Sklavenicis.
So the Resource Center has been open for quite a while. However, we are having our official Conejo Connections Resource Center grand opening ceremony next Tuesday, April 9th at 4 p.m. and it's until 6 o'clock. There will be food samplings. It's open to the public, and there will be speeches given by some of the leaders in our community, so I encourage everyone to come. It's very important, and it's a great way to find out about all the resources in our community and the nonprofit services provided. So if you would also like to visit the website, it is www.conejoconnections.org. Thank you.
All right, thanks. I just wanted to clarify one more thing about the dodgeball event, is that it is a high school only event, and it's girls and boys teams that will be forming, so yeah. Please sign up. All right, back to you, Chair Sklavenicis.
Thank you, Commissioner McGuigan. Our last item on the agenda is item 8, Commissioner comments. Oh, I'm sorry. That is not correct. We will be moving on to item 7B, Therapeutic Dance Recap with Commissioner Stein.
So we have completed our therapeutic dance last month. It was on March 9th, with the theme being Welcome to the Jungle, which I've said in the past meetings, and it was an absolute hit, and everyone loved it. There were about 103 people there, 103 participants there, and about 25 to 35 volunteers serving food, setting up decorations all day, balloon arches, etc. I'd like to thank the Teen Center again for their help and letting us use their facilities. And also I'd like to thank TOTV because they made this fabulous video about it, and now we are going to play the video. Thanks for working hard, everyone. We have about 2 hours left, and this is really going to help the participants at the dance, and it's really going to just make it so much more special for everyone there. So thank you. We have like 2 hours left. Keep working hard, and we'll get there, and we'll be finished. All right, thank you.
It's 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning. It's a beautiful day in the Conejo Valley. Yet these teens are awake, working hard, volunteering their time to make decorations and thank you posters for the upcoming therapeutic dance.
The therapeutic dance is specifically for teenagers 13 and up with mental and special needs who are part of our community and love to have fun.
This is Matt Stein. Matt is a junior at Newbury Park High School. He loves football, philosophy, and volunteering. Matt has served on the Thousand Oaks Youth Commission for the past 4 years.
I would now like to introduce the chair of the Therapeutic Dance, Commissioner Stein.
Hello, everyone. The theme this year is Welcome to the Jungle, and as usual, it's going to be at the fabulous Teen Center this year.
The Thousand Oaks Youth Commission is an advisory board made up of 13 young adults, ages 13 to 19, who live locally in the Conejo Valley. Youth commissioners advise the City Council on all matters relating to youth in the community.
I have a good friend of mine, who has a little brother with Down syndrome, so I've always wanted to help people with mental and special disabilities. And through the Youth Commission, I get to do that by chairing this dance and working with other organizations who help them and have recreational activities like this that they look forward to every year. So it's one of my favorite events to do, and you can see a direct impact you're having on the community, and it's just a wonderful event.
This is Ashley. Ashley has special needs, and an opinion, and fashion sense, and an addiction to American Idol, the TV show. Tonight, Ashley is getting ready for the therapeutic dance.
I like to dance. I also like my iPod. And of course, I like to watch movies with my sister when she doesn't have school. Well, I always wanted to do something like when I grew up, but it didn't happen until now. It just did. I said to Mom when I was young, I said I wanted to be a doctor, but it didn't work. So I just waited until I got older. I said maybe I should be something else, so I just did. I like to sing, I like to dance, I like to act a lot. Yeah, I played a couple parts. It was very interesting. I said, how am I going to be able to do this? So I just practiced a lot on my own. It was really nice to try something new. I am going to be a leopard, a beautiful leopard. Nobody can take that away.
Oh, you want some sparkles? Okay, well, let's do this first, okay? Well, Ashley was born with a piece of chromosome missing, and she's the only one in the world with this particular deletion. Her growth hormone releasing factor is broken. So at 10 months old, she was 9 pounds. And it wasn't until she was almost 3 that they realized that that's what was wrong with her. So she had 16 years of growth hormone injection therapy, which is how she's reached her full height of 4 feet 6 inches. She's had 36 surgeries, eye surgery, ear surgery, heart surgery. She was diagnosed with terminal lung disease. She sleeps with oxygen at night. She gets tired very easily. She needs to have a lot of rests during the day. No doubt I love her, I believe in her, and nothing's going to ever stop that. What makes you really happy?
I had to say my mom.
Oh, baby, I love you. That was so sweet.
I've always loved this event. I love seeing the smiles on people's faces when they come. I love seeing old people that I met at past dances, and it's always a success because we always have fun, and everyone always wants to come back again. We have 98 people RSVP'd online, and I think we have a total of about 102 people here. So I'm really, really happy with the turnout, and it's obviously a huge success, like it always is. We can't do this great event all by ourselves. The donations really, really played in a key factor this year, and they always do, and that's why we have the signs up, just to thank them one more time and just show them how much we really appreciate it.
What are you looking forward to most tonight?
Probably to dance with someone if I can. It's probably somebody who's really sweet, I guess.
It's my favorite event of the year that we do, and you make friendships and that you never thought you'd meet people, and it makes an impact on the people who volunteer and on the people who come to the event. Every community has people with special needs and disabilities. The Thousand Oaks Youth Commission puts on the therapeutic dance to give back to them and give back to our community. So once again, I'd like to thank TOTV and all the hard work they put into that video and all the hard work they put into every meeting we have and everything they do for us. I got to know Ashley very well through that video, and I've seen her at past dances, and it turns out she goes to my temple with me, and so I've seen her past that event too, and So our friendship has now grown even stronger, and I continue to look forward to being on the commission and continue to look forward on doing these dances again. So back to Chair Sklavenites.
Thank you, Commissioner Stein, and a big thank you again to TOTV. We really appreciate all the work they do. Now for item 7C, Youth Recognition with Commissioner Boyajian.
Hello again. This year, the Youth Recognition Award ceremony is going to be held on May 16th. And right now, we are in the process of scheduling high school and middle school interviews. And if you have received a call from being nominated and we're waiting to get back to you, please call 805-381-7362 to RSVP your interview time. And that's all. So please RSVP soon. And there's more to come. So stay tuned. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Boyajian. Now for item 8, Commissioner comments with Vice Chair Lee.
This is the last portion of our meeting where commissioners can provide any information, comment, or announcements which no action by the commission will be taken. At this time, are there any commissioner comments? Commissioner Jed McGuigan.
All right, I just wanted to add one thing about the implementation plan. Next meeting, it will be April 10th. So please, finish up strong. I want a pretty good attendance from everyone, and don't be discouraged from coming to our last meeting if you haven't been involved yet, because you can still get information about next year and look at different, because we'll be discussing different teams to do next year, probably in upcoming events and meetings and stuff. So we'd love your input. All right, thanks.
Chair Sklavenides.
I would like to again announce the grand opening ceremony for the Conejo Connections. Again, it's next Tuesday, April 9th from 4 to 6 p.m. And also, I would like to wish a happy early birthday to one of our student government representatives and volunteers, my brother, Ulysses. Happy 15th birthday.
Commissioner McGuigan.
Okay, I forgot to wish happy birthday to one of our commissioners and Vice Chair, Jacqueline Lee. Happy 18th birthday.
Thanks. All right, is that it? Anyone else? I would like to turn the meeting back over to Chair Sklavenides.
Thank you, Vice Chair Lee. The April 3rd, 2013 meeting of the Thousand Oaks Youth Commission is adjourned at 7:27 p.m. Thank you.